Welcome to this explainer. All right, I want to paint a little picture for you. Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning and literally everything is gone. You've got zero audience, zero products, zero reputation, no email list, nothing. The whole shebang just wiped out. All you have left is your phone, a Wi-Fi connection, and the knowledge in your head right now. So what would you actually do? And I don't mean the feel-good motivational stuff. I'm talking about the exact step-by-step process. Well, that's exactly what we're unpacking today. We're completely stripping away all that motivational fluff today. We want the exact blueprint to rebuild from absolute scratch. To do this, we're combining the absolute best strategies from top wealth builders like Dan Martell and Mark Tilbury with some really tactical, day-by-day sprint methods. We're rolling all of this into one ultimate master guide for you. Now look, you might think starting from absolute zero sounds like a total nightmare, but honestly, it's a massive hidden advantage. Why? Because you don't have any bad habits to unlearn. You don't have broken systems dragging you down or an audience that expects the wrong things from you. You literally get to build it the right way from day one. See, the problem most beginners face isn't a lack of motivation. It's the lack of a proven sequence. They just try to do everything all at once, and it doesn't work. So here's the master sequence we're going to tackle today. The wealth building mindset, finding what to build, crafting irresistible offers, finding your first buyers, mastering the sale, and wrapping up with growing long-term wealth. Let's dive right in. Step 1, the wealth building mindset. Look, before you build any product, you have to completely change the way you view your time and your money. Entrepreneur Mark Tilbury breaks this down into 3 types of people. First, you've got the wasters. They go through life spending literally everything they earn, just trying to buy happiness. Then you have the warriors. They're the exact opposite. They hoard every single penny, like a squirrel saving acorns for winter, living in constant fear and depriving themselves of any fun. But then you have the winners, and they approach money entirely differently. Winners don't just save. They use their money as seeds to plant money trees. They look at money not as a way to buy stuff, but as a tool to buy more money, which ultimately buys back their time and freedom. Think about wealth building kind of like surfing. Imagine 2 surfers, Cooper and Dwayne. So Cooper only waits for those massive, once-in-a-lifetime waves. And because of that, most days he goes home having done absolutely nothing. Dwayne, on the other hand, rides every small wave he can possibly find, just constantly practicing. So when that massive wave finally hits, Cooper wipes out instantly because he hasn't built any skills. But Dwayne, he rides it perfectly. The takeaway here is huge. Don't sit around waiting for a massive market boom to get rich. Conquer the small waves every day by investing in transferable skills, things like negotiating, public speaking, or content creation. Okay, step 2, finding what to build. With that mindset locked in, we move to day 1 of our sprint. This is where we decide exactly what painful problem you are going to solve. To find that winning idea, Dan Martell points to the Japanese framework called Ikigai. Basically, it's like a giant puzzle where you're looking for the exact intersection of 4 things: what you love, what you're naturally good at, what the world actually needs, and this is crucial, what people will actually pay for. Because let's be real, passion without payment is just an expensive hobby. And hey, here's a brilliant little shortcut for you. You can speed this whole process up using AI, like ChatGPT or Claude. Literally just type in, "I want to start a business. Interview me 1 question at a time to help me find my Ikigai." The AI will challenge your blind spots and help reveal your perfect market fit. It's a real game changer. Now, hyper-specificity is absolutely your best friend here. Don't go out and sell a broad idea like, "I'm going to help people make money." That's way too vague. You want a specific outcome. Think more like, "I'm going to help complete beginners build a PDF guide and make their first online dollar in 30 days. Boom." When you have that level of clarity, building the actual product is insanely fast. Like by day 2, you could open Claude AI, have it outline a highly structured PDF solving that exact problem, make it look nice in Canva, and export it. Done. Remember, finished is infinitely better than some perfect product that doesn't actually exist yet. All right, step 3, crafting irresistible offers. So you've exported your PDF, but you can't just toss it online and expect cash to start raining from the sky. Nobody buys a document, right? They buy a solution to their pain, so let's package it up. Martell breaks down a highly converting offer into 4 specific steps. First up, a clear promise. What is the actual transformation they're getting? Second, a guarantee to completely reverse their risk, like a rock-solid 30-day money-back policy. Third, throw in a bonus that specifically knocks out their biggest objection before they even bring it up. And fourth, you have to create what he calls internal scarcity. So instead of slapping on one of those fake countdown timers that says only 3 spots left, you ask the buyer a direct question. What is the painful cost to your life of not acting today? That is how you create true, genuine urgency. And when it comes to pricing that offer, you want to use a three-tiered model. Put a super high anchor price at the top. This makes your main target offer look like an absolute steal. Then add a lower decoy price to make that main offer look like the most logical choice. Martell always says to charge a bit more than you're comfortable with. It naturally attracts better, more committed clients. That said, if you're just launching a simple starter PDF on a platform like Whop to get that first quick win, you'll want to keep it in the $7 to $17 range. That's the sweet spot for an impulse buy where the right person won't even think twice. Moving on to step 4, finding your first buyers. Your product is live, the offer is bulletproof, pricing is set. Now, we need traffic. We've got to get this in front of total strangers. So here's your aggressive 30-day sprint timeline for driving traffic. By day 4, you need to be setting up your brand on TikTok and Instagram. From day 5 onward, you are posting every single day. And keep a strict 7-to-3 ratio. That means 7 pieces of educational or belief-shifting content for every 3 direct pitches. But don't just wait for them to come to you. You've got to do the manual outreach. Send 20 genuine, completely non-automated messages every day to people engaging with content in your niche. And this is vital. By day 15, set up an automated email system using a tool like GetResponse. Algorithms are going to change all the time, but your email list, that is an asset you own forever. Which brings us to step 5, mastering the sale. Once those leads actually start rolling in, whether you're grinding in the DMs manually or using AI scraping tools like Manus or Social Sweep, it is time to close the deal. Here's the secret. A great salesperson doesn't talk. They listen. They ask really targeted questions. Think of the sales conversation like a staircase. Down at the bottom is hell. That's the prospect's painful current reality. Up at the top is heaven, the awesome outcome your solution provides. Your questions are the individual stairs that carefully guide them up, basically allowing them to sell themselves on your solution along the way. To help them up those stairs, Martell uses a 9-box framework called the Rocket Selling System. You're walking them through understanding their business, their ideal results, their current painful reality, and the roadblocks in their way. When it's finally time to make the offer, you just mirror their reality right back to them. You say something like, okay, you told me you want X outcome, your current reality is Y, and Z is blocking you. Did I get that right? Once they say yes, then you ask for the card. And here is an absolute pro tip for you. Practice this entire flow by prompting an AI to act as a highly skeptical prospect. Rehearse those objections with the AI before you ever ask a real human for their hard-earned money. Finally, step 6, growing long-term wealth. You've built the asset, you drove the traffic, you made the sales. But remember, true wealth isn't just about making the money, it's about what you actually do after that cash hits your bank account. Mark Tilbury reveals how you can build lasting, generational assets using debt strategically. It's honestly like a real-life game of Monopoly. See, debt isn't always a bad thing. If you want to build a real estate portfolio, for example, you buy the absolute worst house on the best street for cheap. You invest some money to fix it up, which significantly boosts its value. Then you refinance that property, pulling out 75% of its new, higher value in cash. Take that cash, go buy the next house, and just repeat the cycle. And if you're investing in the stock market, using platforms like Lightyear, for instance, here is the ultimate rule for winners. Never, ever spend more than the 8 to 10% yield that your portfolio generates. You never touch the principal amount. By only living off the fruit, you ensure that your money tree stays alive and keeps growing literally forever. So there it is. We've laid out the entire master sequence today, from starting at absolute zero all the way to securing lasting wealth. But the biggest trap you can fall into right now is getting stuck in that loop of preparing to get ready. Action is the only thing that separates the dreamers from the builders. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. You have the exact blueprint now. What is the very first specific action you are going to take right now before your head even hits the pillow tonight?